Holidays are here, friends, aren't they? It's September and we already have some holiday releases, and we started off with the right foot. My favorite release of every year, Hourglass palette. We're going to be talking all about two palettes today: deep, medium. We're going to compare to last year's and the year prior to that, and we'll just apply it and chit chat some Hourglass. If this is your first time passing by, I am Gigi. I love to talk about luxury and beauty releases. If you enjoy that kind of content, do not forget to click down there where it says subscribe, and also go to my other socials for a little bit more beauty. And without further ado, let's begin. All right, friends, exciting times. Holiday makeup is here. Yay. We'll review as much as we need to. Of course, Hourglass is the lead for me. I always review their palettes. I love them, and this year's is no exception. So I picked up medium and deep. I got the Lotus in the medium because I knew I'll use this more, and I like this palette a little bit more. And then this is gonna be my deep. You could customize the palettes and pick up, interchange the other case as we were last year, which is very exciting. We will do comparisons. I'm not sure how I want to go about this, but I'm open-minded. Do let me know if there is a one, side to side comparison you want me to do with previous years. So today I was thinking I do a full palette, full face, but then I kept thinking about how one of the years that I reviewed the palettes, I did deep on one side, medium on the other side. You could truly see how medium was very much complimentary to me, and then you were happy to just pick up one. So I thought we'll do that today. So we're gonna start off with the medium palette. So now these palettes are giving us 5 new shades, which is amazing. Every single palette has 5 new shades, and then the added shade is gonna be the finishing powder, which is just standard in their line. So let's remove this. This is the Lotus packaging. I find it to be very pretty. I wish it was animals again. I do love the animal casing from years priors, but it's okay. This is pretty too. I really like this. This is the palette that I really loved, the outer portion, and then inside is just truly beautiful. Every single shade here looks beautiful, and I'm excited that we get an actual bronzer, an actual new bronzer shade. Yay, for medium skin tones. This is the palette. And then this is inside. You can see how rich and yummy these shades truly are. They're absolutely beautiful. I already swatched, and I did natural lighting swatches. If you want to see those, head over to Instagram and TikTok. But yeah, those are just stunning. Love that. Now this looks very rich, so I'm gonna proceed with caution every time I dip my little paw into it. Now let's start off with some finishing. I usually use the finishing powders. We'll do medium on this side. I usually use this guy underneath the eyes just to soften complexion, to soften some, texture and whatnot. And this shade is just for medium skin tones. That shade is Soft Light, which is actually one of my favorites finishing for medium complexion. Soft Light I love. Now that's it. You're not gonna be able to see that much. Now let's go ahead and do some bronzing. And this shade is called Natural Bronze, and it looks so neutral in person. I haven't tried it on, but on the pen it looks so neutral. I was shocked. Yeah, it is a beautiful tonal bronzer. It's quite neutral, but I'm not mad about that. With the medium bronzers, I always find that I have to build them up, always. So I'm gonna dig. That's what I usually do with my elephant palette. I really have to dig and that's why my pen is already like showing signs of wear on the bronzer, because it does show up, but it requires a little bit of building up is all I'm trying to say. It looks very natural. Here it is. It is extremely natural, but I find it to be a beautiful shade. It looks a little warmer on than in the pan. In the pan it looks very neutral. So we're gonna jump right into the bronzer. So these are the two bronzers that I could use. This is the actual bronzer, and then this is the finishing shade. So I was thinking I could go in with the bronzer first, the very light hand. Yeah, he's very pigmented. But you can see it's not as scary as it looks. So you just take a little bit and you build up as you need to. Oh, it's stunning. Yeah. Look how pretty that is. It is beautiful. It is very, very pretty. And you see, I'm still dipping back a little bit more to build up the shade because it lets you do that. I don't know. This is looking pretty equal to me, actually. I'm surprised. Now, I feel a little naked without my eye makeup, so I'm just gonna, I just dipped my brush, oh, a little hair bristle, into Hourglass's bronzer, the deepest shade in the Evil Side palette. And I'm just gonna run this like this, so that, yeah, this is a beautiful shade. You can use it only in the outer portion if you need to. We're gonna add some shimmer for sure on the eyes, because these powders on the eyes, they're it. Every time I travel, I just bring one of these palettes because they just do it all. Let's do some blushing. Ooh. We're gonna start off with this lighter shade first, and I'm gonna apply it in the apple. You can see it's very shimmery, which I like. I like a good highlighty blush. And then we're gonna, I'm just tilting my brush, and we're gonna go into this one. And this one has no veining, hence it's gonna be more pigmented. So I'm gonna put it out in the perimeter of my temple. I always mix my blushes in the palettes. I never wear one. So yeah, that's the way I would do it anyways. Just adding a little bit more. It is beautiful, very soft, very, very pretty. It's stunning. For these blushes, which look so deep, we're gonna dip into this one first. We're gonna try this one first. Look at that. We're gonna put it out here in the perimeter of our cheekbones. Oh my god, it's so pigmented. That was a lot. We need a blending brush. There we go. Good job. Nothing happened. And then we are going to go into this beige shade right here. And I think I'm gonna switch up brushes. I'm gonna take this one from Sonia G. So I'm gonna take this guy here. Oh, this is a beautiful shade. It is pretty much matte, so it's gonna give that very softening illusion that you pretty much have no pores and that you have absolutely no texture, like you're just a doll. So soft, so pretty. And then this guy here, we have 3 blushes, by the way, so I took it with the tip of the brush. So this is gonna be the perfect blush topper. Check that out. Yeah, the perfect blush topper. Here we have these also shimmery blush. Well, it's not a blush, but it's a highlighter. Yeah, we're gonna apply that here. You need to get out of here. This highlighter is so stunning, but so pigmented. We also have another pinkish situation. What is this one? Across the bronzer. Pink Fusion. Blush Oasis Glow. So I think this guy here is a little bit more of a natural blush. Yeah, like if you don't want this much highlighter, you could totally get away with this. So what's there left to use? We're gonna use these on our eyes. I always picked the most, check that out, for our eyes. Yeah, the most blinding one. And we'll do the same with this guy here, the gold one. Oh, I like this one better. Now I'm gonna mix some of that here because it's truly a little bit more gold, you know, just deeper in general, which I prefer. Now these shimmers are going everywhere. So I'm just gonna take a brush, the brush that I took for the bronzer at the beginning, and just blend a little bit the edges. Oh my god, oh my god, happy dance. We'll do some bronzer. Deepening of the outer corner. I'm gonna wet this little brush and I'm gonna go into the medium palette. I guess it's gotta be that one. Yep. Alright friends, we're gonna do some buffing. So I'm gonna take the Sonia G Phase 1, I believe it's called. Phase 1? Yeah. And we're gonna buff everything. I love to do that even though I'm taking away a lot of the shimmer, but I just find it that it really melts every single product together, the shade, and I don't have one on the deep shade, so I am just gonna use the medium one, if you don't mind. I'm gonna set my face. I'll finish off my eyes with some liner and you know, mascara. And alright, friends, and this is what our completed makeup looks like. It is beautiful, it is seamless, it is stunning, it is natural beauty. It's giving it all. It's giving skin looks good in every right place. I mean, what can I say? To be honest, these Hourglass palettes are beautiful, and I always say this time and time and time again. Last year, this was my favorite release for the holidays. I just find these powders to just look beautiful and just make complexion look beautiful. And I'm such a complexion junkie of complexion products, and these just, it hits the spot. It really tickles it every single time, and no exception this year. I absolutely love both palettes. Now I'm super torn. Like, I don't know which of the two palettes to recommend you, to be honest. For medium complexions, I like them both equally. I feel like the deep palette gave me all and more I was looking for. The only thing I'm missing here is the finishing powder, which, I mean, the palette has it. It's just not good for me. For me, the finishing powder in here is gonna be a glowy bronzer, which I'm here for that. I love a good glowy bronzer. Glowy bronzer is my second name, so I have no problem. But I feel like if I really want the whole package, I'm going to need to reach for a finishing powder. I love the fact of the finish of the skin. Like, I love the fact of the blurring. I love the fact of the no pores. I love the fact of the perfected, beautiful, you know, stunning skin. And I like to highlight, but not too much. You can see, like, I don't have anything on my nose. I just don't go too far. But if you do want that, it will be here. Check out my inner corner, just with a little bit of setting spray in that shade from the Lotus. It just so now let's talk about the medium. Every single shade here just work for medium complexions, and that's the beauty of it. They really curate these palettes for medium complexions, and that's what you're gonna get. That's why I find every year now that whenever I don't get the medium, which is the one that I'm supposed to get, I find that I'm missing something. Like for the deep, I miss nothing but just my finishing powder, but I could have that on this side, no problem. But here, truly, in all seriousness, this is all you need if you have medium complexion. The blushes in here were beautiful. I do find that the blushes are a little bit more warm toned, which I prefer the coolness on this side, because any blush on me will look like warm anyways, you know. So when I see warm tone blushes, I rather go for the cool, and it'll be warm on me, just not as warm. I do find that the medium has very warm tone blushes. So this is the finishing powder. You can see it's very pigmented. It is very pretty. Check out this blush highlighting situation. I'm gonna do a second swatch so that you can see it. It is very pretty. It's very soft though, so you are gonna have to do a little bit building up, or for me, I feel like it's gonna maybe be a blush topper. Now check out that highlighter. Like, hello highlight. Yeah, it is gorgeous. It is a beautiful rose gold shade, which I love. Now let's do the two blushes and then the bronzer. You're gonna see how warm tone this is. Look how pigmented. It is very bright. It is very pretty. It's very soft to the skin. I really like it. And then this will give me a little bit of that NARS orgasm, you know, like glowy situation. But like if I apply the blush and then I go on top of, like with that one, that's it, right? And then the bronzer you can see is right there. Is very neutral, is very pretty. It is going to show up on medium complexions, but you have to do a little building up, as I did, which, to be honest, I don't really mind. I'm already used to it. You'll see my elephant pan, I'll show you. It is pretty much it is pretty much, the bronzer is like pretty much like this flat, and the other shades are like dumped still, because I just have to dig hard to get the bronzing out of that palette, but I don't mind. I'm happy. Now let's swatch the deep one beside it. And oh my god, these two shades are so pigmented. Check out this highlighter. Yeah, that gold highlighter is so beautiful. Check out this stunning blush topper. Girl. And I think you know where I'm going with this. I think I'm obsessed with the deep palette, and I am so glad. Oh, those two swatches, but that's okay. You get the drill. It is a stunning red shade. Like, it is a beautiful, deep, very stunning shade. I love it. Now, this is a little bit of a, I don't know, interesting shade that they place in this palette, because I don't know how these will, I'm not sure how these will look on deep complexions. I think this is very interesting. I don't know. I can't speak about it. I don't know how it will look. But like, if I put it on, it's gonna show up on me, right? Now let's do the bronzer. Oh, check this goodness out. Yeah, that bronzer is rich. It is so neutral and beautiful. And then this glowy bronzer is also very pretty. So here you have it, friends. We have the medium and we have the deep. I'm sorry I did such awkward swatches. Medium and deep. So now let's talk a little bit of comparisons. And so here we have the Owl palette from last year, and then here we have this year's medium shade. These are the two medium palettes that Hourglass released, these from 2023. And the bronzer here is glowy, so that's a difference. The blushes are very similar. I tell you what, this copper shade I never ever reached for, so I'm so glad they went this route instead of that copper shade, which I feel like is more complementary to deeper complexions and not so much medium. This side is gonna be the Owl, and then this side is gonna be this year's medium palette. The finishing powders are similar. I love the fact that they removed that orange shade on this year's palette. I do feel like blushes, both of them are pretty similar. I feel like this bronzer could be a little deeper compared to last year's. Last year's in the Owl looks a little deeper too though. And then the highlighter, they did a change. The gold, I guess these golds are also very similar if you think about that. So all in all, I feel like the Owl palette is very similar to this year's. Just take away this guy. Just take away, yeah, the copper shade, and put a little bit of a neutral, like more neutral bronze. Now, if we want to add the elephant, let's add the elephant on this side. I'll show you. Okay, friends, and here we have the elephant on this side. So in the elephant, we get a similar finishing powder. I'm not sure it's actually the same. No, this is dim light. In the new one, we get soft light, so it's different. And in the Owl, we get radiant light. So yeah, they're all different finishing powders between the medium ranges. So this is the elephant on this side. So you can see blushes across all three palettes tend to be very similar. They look a little pinkish, corally, whatnot. This is the finishing powder. Here we also get a little bit more of a golden highlighter in the elephant as opposed to these, which is rose gold into this year's, I'm like today's palette, this year's palette. And then the bronzer is actually very warm compared to prior years. So I hope if you have medium complexions, I hope this makes sense to you. If you have these palettes, then you know what I mean. Now let's compare the Tiger, which is a deep palette, and then the Devil's Eye, which is also the deep palette. Let's do some swatches. Now on this side, we are going to find the deepest shade on this year's palette, and then on this side we have the Tiger. I have to say, I just love that they took away all those coppery tones, but that's just my personal opinion and preference. Like, I thought this was too orange for me. I could never reach for these or this. The other shades were beautiful. I like them, but again, because of these so warm tones, I never reached for the Tiger palette whatsoever. But these shades are beautiful. I just love a lot more the berries and like just the neutrals. I love that this bronzer is so much more neutral than last year's. You know, they don't pull red on me. I love this glowy bronzer, which I know is a finishing powder, but I love that for my medium complexion. So overall, I feel like this year all across, it was a beautiful, curated and upgraded version of these palettes. Like Hourglass are just getting very good at that. All right, friends, this was a long video. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope that this was helpful in any way to make your decision and make sure that you get the palette that suits you the most and that you love the most. Now, I would love to hear your thoughts. What do you think of these palettes? What do you think of the comparisons? Which of the two you liked better on my medium tan complexion? Remember, for shade reference, I'll leave them down below, but I'm usually Chanel B40, Dior 3N, 3.5 the most, you know, kind of thing. I'm a medium with neutral warm undertones. I don't really ever wear tan as foundation shade, if you're wondering, but I'm gonna list my most used foundations in the description box if you're wondering. And yeah, friends, that should do. Again, let me know, what do you think? I think that my favorite was the deep palette. Yeah, this was my favorite, and I'm kicking myself now in the butt that I didn't get the Lotus Gazing for it, because I just love it. I think that I'm gonna get so much use out of this. I love everything in here, and these for my eyes, chef's kiss. So yeah, friends, let me know below your thoughts. Thank you for watching. Remember, links to shop will be down there. If you do purchase with my link, it'll help me and it'll help the channel, so I do appreciate that. I also actually use Tanya's code, which is one fellow YouTuber. I'm pretty sure you know who I'm talking about. Tanya will give you 10% off if you use that code, or if you want to wait for the Sephora sale. Also, Sephora sale is coming. Hourglass said they're coming to Sephora on the 20th of September. So if you're wondering about that, that's when they come live. But yeah, all shopping links will be below if you want to support. And yeah, friends, I'm rambling. Thank you for watching. Bye.